Hello everyone, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to do I was going to say McDonald's, a Tim Hortons. Today we are doing a Tim Hortons breakfast mukbang, and that's because I just want an excuse to eat Tim Hortons. They didn't give me a straw for my ice cap. Are you kidding? Luckily I have straws in. Okay, what the heck? Honestly, Tim Hortons customer service is so trash. Like, every time I go there, their food is either hit or miss. Their customer service is not good. It's never consistent. Like, you know when you go to McDonald's or Wendy's or Taco Bell, you go across the world, it's consistent. Tim Hortons is not consistent. You can go to one Tim Hortons and get something cooked perfectly and go to the next Tim Hortons and it's burnt. I got an ice cap. Oh my gosh, that's so good. And I got a hash brown. And I got a sausage and egg breakfast sandwich. So, I just pumped using my mom cozies. I got about 7 ounces. That's my usual. When I pump, I usually get like 5 to 8 ounces, depending on. If it's earlier in the day, I can get up to 8, but I only pumped for 20 minutes and took them off. I didn't feel like doing the whole 30. But anyways, I am doing a Q&A. I feel like people have so many questions now since having Lavender. Lavender is at home with Josh, and she's getting a bottle. I don't usually pump like at home. I usually nurse unless I have something to do. Like if I'm live or like recording a video or doing something like that. Like something where I have like my hands are busy or like I'm recording so my boobs can't be out. But I am doing a Q&A right now. Let's get started. This is egg and cheese and sausage on a biscuit. Let me take a bite first because I'm so hungry. I've been up since like 4 a.m. with Lavender, and it's 10 and I haven't ate yet. So good. Okay. This person said, please get a lactation consultant and never give breastfeeding advice to other women online. Okay. I actually did have a lactation consultant. I don't anymore. And I think they're referring to me when I said that no food or drink is going to like significantly increase your supply. It's all about supply and demand. And yes, being hydrated and eating the right food is going to make you produce more milk. But if you really want to like increase your supply, the only way to do that is supply and demand, which is draining yourself and making your body think that it needs to produce more milk. That's just the facts. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know. If you only make 1 ounce and you eat oats, you're not going to make 5 ounces. You might make 2 ounces if you eat oats and are hydrated, but you're not going to like significantly increase your supply just off of what you're eating and drinking. It needs to also be with supply and demand. Yeah. If Lavender was a boy, did you have any boy names picked out? Yes. Who does baby girl look more like? I feel like at first she looked like me. Now she looks like Josh. I feel like her side profile, she looks like me. She definitely looks more like Josh. Like when you put her next to us, I feel like she looks like Josh way more. Are you still Christian? Of course. What's your skincare routine? I don't have one. And that's probably the issue. I used to use CeraVe benzoyl peroxide wash, but then there's like this whole recall thing of it turning into benzene, and that's like a class 1 carcinogen. And then I used to use retinol, but then when I got pregnant and when you're doing fertility treatments or breastfeeding, you can't use retinol or retinoids. So, or tretinoids or none of those. So now I don't use that. So now my only skincare routine really is washing my face with this regular CeraVe and then putting sunscreen on. Or like putting on CeraVe moisturizer. That's it. What's something you wish you knew before having a newborn? I would say all of the weird stuff that's like considered normal. Like, there needs to be a booklet of like, here's what's normal. Like their skin peels, they have a startle reflex, they roll their eyes in the back of their head when they're sleeping in active sleep. Their poop can be different colors. There can be like chunks in it. There can be like different colors, different consistency. I wish there was like a handbook of like, or like there can be like a random hive on her arm and then it's just like gone in like an hour. How like the whites of their eyes kind of look blue. Like it's just like, I wish there was like a handbook of like, here you're going to go home. Here's all the things that are going to be weird and that it's going to weird you out. And that you think if something's going to be wrong, you're going to want to take her to the hospital, but it's normal. I wish there was that. So many weird things happen with newborns, and like, luckily we have Google, but I can't imagine like not having Google back in the day. Like I would have brought her to the ER like 4 times already for things that are normal. Not a question, but your baby is cute and adorable. Thank you. Do you want more children? As of now, no. As of now, no. Best birthing positions for easier birth. So for Luca, I didn't have the epidural. And I gave birth on my back. And then for Lavender, I did have an epidural. And I still gave birth on my back. So I have no idea. Sorry, I was covering my face. Where do you buy shorts? Jeans? I know you're mostly a legging girl, but if you had to. I am wearing jean shorts right now. I bought a lot of my jeans off Fashion Nova because they were like the stretchy jeans. What was something major you didn't expect after giving birth? I'm not sure if you mean like in the postpartum aspect, like in my body wise, but I wasn't surprised in anything that way because I was postpartum with Luca. So I wasn't surprised that way, but I don't know if you mean like physical or if you mean like mental or what you mean, to be honest. At what age do you plan on telling Lavender about Luca? Right away. We have a picture of him in her nursery. She will always know about Luca. Worst and best parts about being a mom. My favorite part, it's not about being a mom, but my favorite part about like in the day is like when I have a good nap or she gives me like a good 3-4 hour stretch of sleep and I wake up and she's just so cute. Like I feel like she's always cute, but she's even cuter. And I feel like other moms can relate. When they wake up from a nap and it was like a good nap and you got like time to yourself, you got time to eat, or you had time to like have a good nap, like you feel more, no, it's not that you're not excited to see them, but you feel more appreciative of them and you're able to enjoy their company more because you're not exhausted, you don't feel overwhelmed, you feel like you finally got like a reset. my favorite ever is like having a nap and then waking up and like seeing her stretch, and she just looks even cuter than when she went down for her nap. I don't know why, it's just so adorable. The worst parts is probably honestly, like, I never understood when people said moms are always putting everyone else first, and I get it. I will go like 3 days without brushing my hair. It's really bad. Oh, my nose is itchy, sorry. Favorite diapers. We like Huggies. We've tried Pampers. We don't like them. We actually switched them for Huggies. I don't like Huggies. I mean, I don't like Pampers. I don't like Pampers wipes either. We used those wipes for like 3 days, and she instantly got like sores and like a huge diaper rash, and she never has a diaper rash, and then all of a sudden she got a diaper rash. And I was like, absolutely not. Their Pampers wipes are so wet, and like it's just no. I will say what we do now, no matter what wipes we're using, is we have a cloth next to like her changing pad. And when we're done wiping her with a wipe, we dry her with a cloth so that she's not sitting in like that wet wipe diaper. And she's never had a diaper rash since, so. How many kids do you want in total? Love you, pretty girl. Love you. Honestly, like, I've always wanted 2 kids, which I have 2 kids. Oh. But I think I want 2 living, just so that she has a sibling to grow up with. I'm honestly okay with, like, me and Josh both said we'd be okay with just, like, Lavender. Obviously, there's Luca, but we're talking about living children. We'd be okay with just Lavender, but I think the problem is that we think about when she's, like, 40 or 50. Even, like, we think about when she's going to have her own family, and, like, how we want her family to have, like, we want her kids to have aunts and uncles, and we want her to have nieces and nephews, and we want her kids to have cousins, and that kind of doesn't happen if we don't have another sibling for her. So right now we feel like it's fine, but I try to envision, or like, when me and Josh are gone and she has like a Thanksgiving, like, is she only gonna go over to like her husband's house, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, physically, I'm so tired of being pregnant. I was pregnant for like 2 years straight, because I got pregnant directly after Luca too, and it was just like a lot. And then before that I was doing fertility treatment, so my body just felt like crazy. And now, honestly, I thought my body would feel better, but it doesn't, because I'm breastfeeding, so it still feels like my body's being used in some way. So if I'm being honest, I would love to just have 1 kid, but because I'm just tired and I'm like over it. I think you have to ask me in like 9 months. Can we have a birth giving story? So I do have my birth story over on Patreon. Someone just parked next to me, and there's a whole parking lot. Which I'm usually fine with, but not in like a food parking lot. Sorry, I was just making sure she wasn't hitting my car. What was the question? Oh, I have my birth story over on Patreon. But if you don't have money for Patreon, I do have a birth vlog. And honestly, it's really not different. Luckily, thank God it was very uneventful. It was eventful because, you know, I had a whole human being. I had Lavender, but it was also uneventful because everything went super smooth. So there's really not much of a story. And if you watch my vlog, you kind of get the story that way. So if you can't afford Patreon, don't worry, you kind of basically still know the story because it's really not any different. What's one thing you would do differently in the past? P.S. I love you always. Maybe not get a BBL. But maybe not, because I do like it. Like, I feel like ever since I got like my reduction and I started working out, I feel like it doesn't look nearly as crazy. I don't feel like I get stares anymore. I feel like it suits my body. Obviously, it doesn't suit my body great, but it still suits. I feel like ever since the reduction and working out, it significantly looks better. I've even had people say that in my comments. But yeah. Maybe that. I'm trying to think what else I regret. Or would change. But I guess if you would change something, then you would regret it. Right? I mean, maybe buying a house earlier. I would maybe change that. How painful was labor? So my Pitocin, my induction one, the Pitocin contractions were definitely way worse than regular contractions, in my opinion. My contractions with Luca, there was no Pitocin needed. I would give that like a, I mean, it hurt. Like, no matter what, contractions hurt. But with Lavender, the Pitocin made it come on really fast, really strong. Like, I instantly was having contractions a minute apart. Like, it never was like, okay, every 5 minutes, and then every 3 minutes, and every 4 minutes, and then every 2 minutes. No, it was like immediately a minute apart contractions. I was like, okay, this is like crazy. Whereas like with Luca, it came on like slowly. How are you doing with postpartum depression? I don't have postpartum depression, thank God. Well, as of yet. I know it can take up to like 6 months or whatever. But I luckily don't have postpartum depression. I think it's because I have such a great husband. I think if I did not have my husband, I think I would 100% be depressed. I would never be able to leave the house. I'd be stuck in the house. I would probably never have time to shower or poop or brush my hair. Breastfeeding is so demanding, and it is just all the time. It feels like it's all the time, and it is all the time. But if it wasn't for Josh, I think 100% I'd have postpartum depression. He keeps the house clean. I never have to worry about coming home to a dirty house. He goes to the grocery store when we need something. He will make dinner if I feel like I don't want to. He takes her so I can have a nap. And honestly, truthfully, if I did not have Josh, I would probably have postpartum depression, because postpartum depression is a mixture. As much as people, like, yes, it is a mental, like, thing. You could have everything right going for you, and you could still have postpartum depression, just like regular depression. It has to do with hormones. It has to do with a bunch of things. But a big, huge chunk of it, I think, has to do with the lack of support. And if you don't have someone that you can totally rely on, I think that really, really will make it worse. I'm not, like I said, I'm not saying that it's the only thing, but I will say that for me, having Josh has made it a lot easier, I think. Okay, last question. Such a weird question. Why did you say she's so Filipino in your labor vlog? Because I'm Filipino, and when she was born, she looked very Filipino. That is the weirdest question I think I've ever got. If you guys could read some of these, you're like, they're just like, sometimes I'm like, do people think before they... Self-care ritual as a new mom. I don't have one. That's the problem. Okay. Last question. Last. Mom tip / beginner moms. My favorite mom tip is put a pee pad on the changing pad. And I change her in my bed at nighttime because she's in my bassinet. So I just grab her and I change her on my bed so I don't have to get up. And then I just nurse her. Usually I have to change her again because she poops. And then I put her back in her bassinet. instead of using a changing pad or a travel changing pad, just get pee pads. I have a pee pad. I put it on the bed, like one's for animals. I put it on the bed. I put her on it. And then if she pees or poops, I don't have to go take the changing pad and wash it. I just take it and throw it out and then put a new one down. It has saved us so many times. I would have had to wash that changing pad probably every other day. You know how many times she just decides to pee as I'm changing her diaper? Or she sharts and she shits across the room. Like, it is so much easier. Or sometimes when I'm changing her, you know how they kick so much? She starts putting her foot in her own poop. Starts smearing the poop everywhere. I'm like, oh my gosh. So yeah, that's my favorite tip, is use a pee pad on the changing pad. Or just use it as a changing pad. Like, scratch the whole, like, travel changing pad kit. Like, just put the pee pads everywhere. They're good everywhere because you just throw them out. You don't have to wipe it down. Nothing. Okay. I'm going to go grocery shopping and then I have to head home. Well, I don't have to, actually, but I want to. I miss Lavender and I miss Josh, so I will see you guys in my next video. Check out my vlogs. I'm vlogging a lot more often, and if you guys want extra content, go over to Patreon. I go live on there, so you guys can see me and Lavender live on Patreon. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.